Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly. We're in the middle of my Super Nintendo collection. I thought it was one of my smaller, less impressive collections, but it turns out I'm like super wrong. And this video is a two-parter, and the collection's worth a lot more than I was expecting. So, over $5,000. I didn't pay nearly that much, but like always, I'm going to show you the prices I paid for these games and how much they're currently worth. So let's dive in and do it. And like always, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel. Let's do this. Here we have the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. I know people really like this one a lot. I have not played it. It's in my backlog. I'll get to it. The Mickey Mouse games are hit or miss for me. I think sometimes they're really great and sometimes they're really bad. Like Fantasia on the Genesis is so bad. But anyway, there you go. I wonder how much I paid for this. It couldn't have been much. Mario Paint. The game that made a lot of like artists and composers out there. You can draw, you can do a little bit of music programming and things like that. I have the mouse for this in the closet over there. I've never really spent much time playing Mario Paint. I think I played it at like my cousin's house when I was 10 or something. This was from the wife's house once again. This is Math Blaster. I played a lot of this on the PC when I was like in school, elementary school. I did not know it was on the Super Nintendo. I'm sure it's god awful, but it's episode 1. So hopefully it doesn't end on a cliffhanger. You gotta play episode 2 to figure out what happens to the math. This is the only one of these games I own on the Super Nintendo, although I have the compilation on the PS4. I wish I owned more of them. They're getting hard to find. And I'm a fan of this series. All I have to say, this version of it, I got stuck on the last boss or something and never finished the last boss. So I'm like 99% of the way done completing this game, but it's back in the backlog for the PS4 version. But it's Mega Man X, classic game. This has got some teeth marks on the corner you can see here. It's got like a pepperoni got to that one right there. That's a puppy for any of you non-Italians. That was a bad joke. I'm not Italian, guys. NBA Jam. Great game, more fun in the arcade. The Super Nintendo version is still good. If you can get the tournament edition, you should play that one. It's got more features and updated rosters, I think. I can't remember. This is done by the same guy that did Flashback, the game that I said I hated. Now, I beat this on the 3DO. I spent a lot of time playing it on the 3DO, and I also beat it on the PC back in the day. I have not beaten it in like 20 years. I don't feel like I need to. I have such a good memory of this one. Unlike everything else, I remember this. But it's Out of This World. Or Another World. For all you Europeans out there. But it's a... oh my god. I keep hitting the microphone cord. I'm sorry, guys. I have a microphone cord extender. I have this lapel mic down here. You can see it. And I'm like... literally, I think 3 feet from the microphone. I bought this extender on Amazon. And... it's long, it's maybe 9 feet, so I can stand a long way from the camera, but it's what was causing the hum in all my previous videos. There's like this low, like 60 cycle hum you could hear, and so I would have to like edit and do like sound reduction in all my videos to get rid of that hum, and it like messed up everything. So today, I'm 3 feet from the camera, like here's the camera here. It's an arm length away, but I'm tethered and I keep slapping this thing. And I'm sorry if you can hear it. I can't tell if you can hear it. Hopefully you can't. But it's like swaying. The cable is like swaying back and forth as I like talk and move. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, what they call this kind of game. It's a cinematic platformer. And let me move over here. Oh, there we go. There's the trick. You stand to the side so you can actually see what you're doing, dummy. Anyway. It's very much like a movie, and it has this like realistic rotoscoped kind of movement. But they even say like lights, camera, action right there. It's kind of hard to see because I have all my box games, or most of them, in these protective cases. But lights, camera, action. So they were going for the cinematic platformer concept even when this came out. But this is a great game. Fantastic game. I did play it on the Super Nintendo a little bit, and I remember it playing like almost as well as it does on the 3DO. It doesn't look quite as good, but played fine. This is the game that's more famous for its cover than its gameplay. I remember seeing this like at a rental, and the purpose of them, the marketing team, they're like, we're going to make the dumbest looking cover ever, and people are going to be enticed by it, and they're going to want to play it to know what it is. No, everybody saw it and like, that's dumb. I don't want to play that. But it's Phalanx. You see this old timer sitting here, and this is obviously a rental. He's sitting there in a chair with a banjo. There's this little spaceship you can see right there on the top. This is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. That's what this is, a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. And I have finished this game. It's done by Kimco. Kimco's notorious, guys, in case you didn't know, for just pumping out a ton of like generic, kind of low-budget games. And they even do it to this day. Like Limited Run Games has probably released like 30 Kimco RPGs that have come out in the last 5 years. There's just so many of them. But this game is not great. It's okay. It's like a 7 out of 10. And not only do I have this, and not only have I played this one to completion, I think maybe I 1 credit cleared it, but I can't remember. I also have the game on the Super Famicom. And look at the cover art on that. That's what the ship looks like. It looks like a Tylenol gel caplet from where I'm looking at it now. But it's the same game. It's a little harder on this version. I think you get less lives and like less continues on this version, but there's also something better about it. Like it has better music or something, like a better sound chip. I can't remember, but I reviewed both of these on GameFAQs. Anyway, it's fine. It's an okay shoot 'em up. I played a ton of this on the Nintendo 64, but I haven't played a super ton of it on the Super Nintendo. Super ton of it on the Super Nintendo, man. Well, there you go. I have played this. I have not played it in a long time. I think I rented it when I was a kid to play it like my friend's house. I didn't have a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. I had a Sega Genesis, but all my friends had Super Nintendo, so I felt like I played it a lot. Anyway, enough yammering. It's Pilot Wings. Kind of a fun little flight sim, sort of, almost like a, what do they call those? It's like a tech demo. It's like a tech demo for the Mode 7 graphics. That's how I always felt about the Pilot Wings games. Still pretty fun though. This is in the backlog. And yes, I know that copy's dirty. I should clean it. I'll clean it when I play it. 15 years from now. This game came out on every system under the sun, like Game Boy, Atari Jaguar, Super Nintendo, Genesis, like everything. Sega CD, like, you know, it's Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. And this game's not that good. I haven't played it in a very, 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 very long time. I think I rented it on the Genesis when I was a kid and played it like 20 minutes and was like, this game kind of sucks. But here it is on the Super Nintendo. We'll see. I think it's still in the backlog. I'll give it another shot. I'm sure my opinion won't change, but maybe it will. As I look at this, like I have a strong desire inside to really not play this game. This game does not look very enticing to me, but it's Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday. I think this also came from my wife's house. Thanks for the donation, family. Anyway, let me know if there's anything good about this game. I don't know. I kind of forgot I owned this. This one I played on the Genesis. Haven't played it in a long time. It also came out on everything under the sun, including the arcade. Another one of these like digitized graphics fighting games trying to jump on the Mortal Kombat bandwagon. It's Primal Rage. It's a bunch of dinosaurs beating the crap out of each other. I think I used that exact same explanation in the pickups video where I got this game, but I can't remember. But that's how I've always described it, just dinosaurs beating the crap out of each other. There are also like primates and stuff in it, but it's okay. It's fine. It's back in the backlog, I believe. Okay, I picked this up from RetroBit. This is in the GameEye app, and the price of this is like, I don't know what's going on. It was $100, then it jumped up to $800. And the only reason I know this is because it like kept jumping to the top of my GameEye most valuable games list, which is like I see it when I open up my games list. So it was like $100. It jumped up to like $800, and I was like, that's not right. And then it corrected itself down to $160. And then I checked it the other day and it was like $1,100. I don't, why? And then I checked it this morning and it was like $180. But it's the R-Type 3 and Super R-Type compilation from Retrobit. And mine is still sealed. I bought this because I think R-Type 3 is pretty inexpensive. Super R-Type's kind of expensive. But this was like cheaper than both of them. So I bought this just to play it, and now I'm like, do I need to open it? Is it worth $160? It's worth like $1,100. I don't know. I feel like 160 is right, but that I think is more expensive than just buying both of these games. So I might just like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll play them on an emulator. I don't want to play them on an emulator. I don't have any flash cards, at least not for the Super Nintendo. Do I want to crack this open to play them? I think I can buy them both for less than like the loss of value for opening this. Anyway, let me know. These are supposed to be great games. I love the R-Type games. So this is the inferior version of a really good Raiden game on the Sega Genesis, and it's Raiden Trad. I have played the one on the Sega Genesis. I have not played this one. The cover looks very, how would I describe that? Radical. Radical. Anyway, it's Raiden Trad. Raiden Trad. I always want to say Raiden. Everyone when I was a kid said Raiden for everything. Ninja Gaiden. Now we know it's Gaiden and Raiden. Raiden. That's close enough. That's in between. We'll go with that. Raiden. Raiden Trad. Terrible game. Picked it up on the Genesis. I picked it up on the Super Nintendo. Aerosmith stars in it. It's like a gallery shooter. Revolution X featuring Aerosmith. Ugh. It was bad in the arcade, and it's worse on these consoles. This one was in a pickups video recently. It's the Roadrunners Death Valley Rally. I don't know anything about this game. I think I watched SNES Drunk do a review of this not that long ago, and he was like, it could have been a good game, but it's not. And I was like, great. Glad I picked it up then. Moving on. This is all like Snickle Fritz filler stuff. I feel. This is Rocco's Modern Life, Spunky's Dangerous Day. I didn't know there were any Rocco's Modern Life games. I liked it when it was on Nickelodeon when I was younger. Very bizarre cartoon. People talk about how like weird Ren and Stimpy was, and it was. Ren and Stimpy is bonkers, guys, but like Rocco's Modern Life was pretty much right up there with it. So strange. There was this like episode, this is a show made for kids, side tangent, where like Rocco's neighbors were tube frogs, and he hears like these moaning sex sounds like coming from the house, and he like peeks in the window, and they're like, I guess it's foreplay, but their foreplay is they're like throwing dishes and plates in the air like skeet shooting, and they're shooting their tongues out like a frog would to like break the plates. Very weird, very weird. I've always like remembered that scene. It was something like that. Wildly inappropriate for kids. I'm sure like every adult watching that with their kid was like appalled. This is kind of like an obscure, expensive game. You can always tell whenever you see this at the top, Atlas. But this is Run Saber. I did play and beat this. It is a side-scrolling action game, kind of similar to Contra mixed with a little bit of Strider, and it was very good. I was impressed with it. I can see why it's so pricey. It's not the greatest game on the system or anything, but it had a relatively fair difficulty curve, so I would say I was able to beat it. So I did like this game a lot. Don't know anything about this one. Another filler game, Scooby-Doo Mystery. Whatever. This could be anything. It could be a point-and-click adventure. I have no idea where it came from or anything about it. This is another bootleg. I'm sure this is like a ROM hack translation or something. This used to be the only way to play this game, or maybe it's not. I don't know what this is, man. Whatever. This is Secret of Mana 2, but like a homebrew hack thing that I found in that box. All of these now are on the Switch collection. You can just play them there, so you don't have to worry about this. This is just shelf candy now. The backlog version got replaced. This version that was in the backlog got replaced with the licensed authentic one. This is Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge. This is hard to read. Never played this. It's in the backlog. It's an LGN game, so I'm sure it's god-awful and terrible, but let me know about this one. I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big comic book guy, so these games are kind of like, whatever. course, it might be the greatest game ever. Who knows? This one I played more on the N64 than this, but it's a very cool game. I like it a lot. It's in my backlog again because I want to beat it. But it's Star Fox. Good old Star Fox. We love Star Fox. Anyway, there it is. Cool game. Very cool game. This is a donation from my wife's family. It came from her house. Turns out it's kind of a pricey game. I have not played it, but it's Stone Protectors. And once again, you see Kimco. So I know it's probably not a great game. It's probably just kind of like uncommon, and that's probably it. It's just uncommon. I think it was this like a weird, like janky Saturday morning cartoon, the Stone Protectors, that was like trying to rip off, I don't know, maybe like Power Rangers or something like that. Whatever the case. Battery's dead. Time out. We'll be back. All right, we're back. We're on battery number 3 on this camera, guys. I mentioned in another video that like my batteries keep dying. I have to sit around and wait for it to charge, and I always screw up and do it the wrong way. So I went out and bought a bunch of batteries. These aftermarket batteries do not last nearly as long as like the official Sony brand battery. It lasts about like an hour and 20 minutes. I think these other ones last like 30 minutes. So whatever the case, let's keep going. This one will last long enough to finish them off. So you know we're at the end. I think there's probably about 15 or 20 games left. Let's do it. Super Street Fighter 02. I have probably played this. I get all of the Street Fighter 2 Super Alpha games or whatever confused in my brain. I need to go through and replay them and like refresh my memory of it. I don't remember how it is on the Super Nintendo. The versions I played were probably like the arcade versions. But anyway, these are all on the Street Fighter like anniversary compilation, so that's the place to play it. I think this was probably put up in a trade to like, I don't know, he like needed to give me a couple more dollars or something in value for what I was trading him, so that's where that came from. This is another like Super FX chip game, Stunt Race FX. I have not played this. It looks cool. It's like a, man, sorry, my throat's dry. I've just been drinking like Mountain Dew. I feel like it just makes me more dehydrated. This is like a claymation digitized racing game. So I think it controls a little wonky. Maybe it has like a low frame rate, but it looks so cool. And I love the way those little cars look. I think they're so cute. Very strange how your tastes change over time, especially when you have like kids. This might actually be the game I've had the most fun with ever on the Super Nintendo. I played this with my buddies, and we used to have a game night on Thursdays before like everybody got busy with family. We played through this game and we had a heck of a fun time with it. I mean, like 10 out of 10 great time. And I own this game on the Genesis 2 as well. Not the Genesis Model 2, the Genesis as well. And it's unbelievably good. And it's, I think it's a little pricey. Both of my versions, copies I found like out in the wild. But it's Sunset Riders by Konami. Side-scrolling like run and gun game. It is incredibly good. It's funny. The action is fast. It's just a great game. So good. So good. Unbelievably good. Never played this one. It's another baseball game. I'm not sure why I have it. I guess it just had like enough intrigue to keep me interested. But it's Super Baseball Simulator 1000? 1000. I was expecting to say 2000 because it was like supposed to be about the future, but nope, just 1000. I wonder if that's referring to like a batting average. What does the 1000 have to do with any of it? Super Baseball Simulator 1000? Okay, whatever. Cool. Awesome. Don't know anything about it. Never played it. These came from a trade. I mean, they're in the backlog. I assume they're like the other games in the series, but Super Bomberman, sweet. Cool, great, wonderful, fantastic. And Super Bomberman 3. Sadly, I'm missing Super Bomberman 2. I don't know, the guy, I guess this is all he had or something. So that's what I ended up with. I apologize. Sorry, I skipped one and left it out for a game I've never played. I have played many Bomberman games, guys, just not the Super Famicom versions of these. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm going to tell you, this is a great version of this game. I am terrible at this. Ghouls and Ghosts is hard. Ghosts and Goblins is hard. I'm just not good at it. This is supposed to be one of the more playable ones, but it still just like absolutely wrecked me 100%. I couldn't beat it. I need to try it. After I got done playing this, I think I made it maybe like 3/4 of the way through the game. I Googled like, what is the easiest Ghouls and Ghosts game or Ghosts and Goblins game? And the consensus is that it's the Genesis version. And I went out and bought the Genesis version just because I want to say like I can beat Super Ghouls and Ghosts or some version of a Ghouls and Ghosts game. I have not played it, but I'm really worried I won't be able to beat that one too. And my like gaming skill credibility will be just like in tatters. This is a great game. I wish I could beat it. Maybe I should spend more time with it. Is that something you guys would like to see me play for fun? Because man, I struggled. Struggle bus all the way. Classic on the system. I played a bunch of this with my wife. She enjoyed it. She played it when she was a kid. It's Super Mario Kart. It's a lot of fun. Even the original here holds up very well, and it's a good time. This is great. I watched my friends play this when I was in college. I didn't even know this game existed until I was in college. But it's Super Mario AllStars. Wait, does this have somebody's name on it? It does. Sorry, P. Arnold. Parnold. This has like remakes of Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3 and the Lost levels. And I have the Mario 25th Anniversary Collector's Edition on the Wii that has the Wii version of these. This is probably the better way to play it. It's just a straight port of this. It is not like upgraded graphics or anything. It's just this game. But this game has updated graphics from the NES games. So I think if I were to play it again, I would play this one. I have not beaten the Lost levels. I've only played... When I played it on the Wii, I just kind of like spent a few minutes with it and then put it back up on the shelf. So I should probably go back and do it. The pack-in game on the system, probably one of the best games on the system. Super Mario World. Everybody loves Super Mario World. This is a great game. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. My buddy had this game, and he thought it was a real release, and he was like, I own the rarest game on the Super Nintendo. Like, no one's heard of it. And I was like, dude, I don't think this is a real game. I think this is a homebrew or like a hack or something. We looked it up, and it definitely was. But I have to say, for a hack, this cart looks pretty official. I think this was a real Super Nintendo donor cartridge. They like replaced the label. I have not played this. I don't know anything about it. It's Super Mario World Return to Dinosaur Land. What is this? Let me know about this one. This looks... It looks like 90% real. Like the cart is definitely... Like, look at this. This is like a real Super Nintendo cartridge. The weight's right. Like the texture is right. The back label is 100% correct. It's just like a donor cart. But let me know about this one. What's the deal with this, guys? Found a copy of this the other day. It's sitting over here. It's like up for trade. This one's complete, 100% authentic. This is Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars. I played this almost to completion, and I just got tired of it. It's a cool game. It's a Square Enix, or not Square Enix, just an Enix developed Mario RPG game. And this is like the precursor to the Paper Mario series. I like them, but I've never been able to really get into them. I've played several of them, and I always like get about halfway through, and I'm just kind of like, I just give up on them. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't like RPGs as much as I think I do. I feel like I love RPGs, but I don't know, this one I couldn't stick through it. It's just maybe it's too cartoony for me or something. And when I played it, I wasn't into cartoons. When I played this, I didn't have any kids. So it's been like 10 years since I played it. Maybe I'd like it more now. I mean, if I should give this one another shot. I did experience a good amount of it, though. It has really cool mechanics and has that kind of like Donkey Kong Country digitized graphic look to it. It's very cool. I wish it would focus. There we go. There we go. That was cool. Reviewed this one on the channel. And it made my top 10 games of the year my top 10 games of the year list last year. Last year. That's so hard to say. Top 10 games of the year list last year. YLLY. Year list last year. Man, oh, that's so good. Alliteration. Once again, a throwback to another video. I played this. I'd never played up to that point. I thought it was really great. And my top 10 game of the year list, it's the games I played that year. So everything's random. Like, I don't base it. It wasn't for 2022. It was just games I played in 2022. 2020, 2020, 2020, 2022. Super Metroid. There it is. Boom. Fantastic game. It really improves over Metroid on the NES because you have like a map that tells you where you have and have not been, but it still had like some cryptic mechanics that like I had to like look up how to do, like the what is it, Soul Spark or whatever, where you like run and stop and you teleport up, not teleport, like jetpack up. I had no idea how were you supposed to figure out how to do it. It shows a guy doing it, but that doesn't make me think I can do it. Anyway, people are like, you have to watch the demo of the game. You have to turn the game on, let it run, and watch the demo to get clues. I hate stuff like that. Give me more direct clues. I don't want to screw around. Just tell me. Still a great game. Fantastic. Must have for the system. Okay, this is another shoot 'em up. This is boxed, not complete. I think I'm missing the manual, and I'm definitely missing the insert. It's just like the cart. Let me see. Do I have the manual to this? I do have the manual. Okay, so this is complete. It's still kind of like sun bleached and beat up a little bit. It's Supernova. And I believe this is, well, I mean, I know what it is. This is one of the Darius, or Darius. Well, I'm going to say Darius because it doesn't sound stupid. This is one of the Darius games. I think this is Darius Twin or something like that. They rebranded it because they thought Americans would be too stupid to pronounce Darius or Darius, and obviously we are, because I'm still debating about it like 30 years later. Anyway, I have not played this on the Super Nintendo. I have not played the original. I have the Darius collection, the super expensive one from Strictly Limited that has like all the Darius games, so I probably will be playing it there. I might pop this one in when I get to that version of the game here and compare them or something, but happy to have this one. This one is I think this is Thunder Force 3 or Thunder Force 4. The version of it on Super Nintendo is called Thunder Spirits. This is not Thunder Force 4, which is called Lightning Force on the Genesis, because I played that not that long ago. I'm looking at the screenshots on the background and it's different. So this must be Thunder Force 3 or something. Anyway, not played this one. This is in the backlog, and it's probably like paired up with the Genesis version, so I can compare the two. I'll play them at the same time. So anyway, excited to have this one. This is the game that everybody's like all about on the Super Nintendo now. It's fine. It's good. It's a great game. It's a beat 'em up game. They just released it on a compilation. This is one of those games that I find all the time. I've probably found 15 or 20 copies of this game out in the wild, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, which is labeled as Turtles 4 on the top. There we go. Really fun, side-scrolling, arcadey kind of beat 'em up. You get to play as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just them. You don't get to play as like Casey Jones or Splinter or what was her name? What was the girl's name or the woman's name in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? April O'Neil. You don't get to play as April O'Neil. Bummer. Just the Turtles. Super fun. I don't think it's as good as everybody else says. I beat it with my wife. We thought it was like an 8 out of 10 kind of game, which is good. That's a great game. But like people are like, this is the greatest game ever made. This is the best game. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love it so much. I want to get like I want to get the toys and the action figures and the comics. They gotta have everything. I don't feel that way. I'm like, they were cool when I was a kid, and I'll play this game, but like, I don't feel like I need to surround myself by the stuff I loved when I was 8. I'm 40. Like, let's surround myself with cool stuff that I like now. I don't want to just like pretend I'm 8 years old again. Sometimes I do, but like, I say that and I surround myself with all these flipping games, like games I played when I was 8 years old. But like, you can do stuff with the games. Like, you can play them. Unlike, I'm not going to sit down and play with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures, unless my daughter wanted to play with them. I guess that's the onus, right? If your kids want to collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff, I would do that. My little girl likes Pokemon. I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but like, I'm all for the Pokemon stuff. I buy her Pokemon t-shirts and Pikachu plushies and games and stuff because she loves it, and I love that she loves it, and I want to experience that with her, even though I don't like personally like it myself. It's part of being an adult. I played this. This is a one-on-one fighting game. It's pretty terrible. It does not control well. It's not great. It's Ultraman. I watched some Ultraman stuff when I was little. This is like a Japanese kind of, almost like a mix between like Power Rangers and Godzilla kind of world. I don't know. I thought it was fine. The show I watched, or the movie, not the game. The game's bad. Anyway, thanks, Mr. Cook, for this one. I think I bought this from you at a yard sale for $1 or something. Let me know below, what was the price? It's probably not very much. This is a great shoot 'em up on the system. Probably like my favorite, although I've never won credit cleared it and haven't played it in many years. And when I did try it, I only got to play it a little bit at my friend's house. So I bought it with the express intention of finally one credit clearing it. It's been sitting in the backlog for a decade. But it's UN Squadron. Very cool game. Who did it? Capcom, with like their old logo. Neat. You kind of have to like grind a little bit in this game to level up your plane. You play as like a fighter jet. So you have to grind. I don't think you can save your game. You grind and grind and grind to get powerful enough to actually play through the levels and beat the game. And you run these various missions that you have to grind out a little bit. So you need a little bit of time to devote to this one when you're going to sit down and play it. Very cool. I think the name of this on the Super Famicom, it's from an anime. I think it's called Area 88 or something like that. It's something like area or zone and then like 2 repeating numbers, like zone 44 or area 88. I don't know, but super happy to have this one. This was, let me see if I can guess correctly. Was this, did I pay $17 for this? I feel like I paid $17 for this. See if I can remember that. That was 10 years ago, and I got it on eBay. Picked this up at a game store a little while ago. This is the 3rd game in the Ys series. Hey Siri. I mean, no, series. This is Wanderers from Ys 3. And you can see here on the title how it's labeled. I've never played any of the early Ys games on like the TurboGrafx 16 or anything. The only one I've played and finished is Ys 7 on the PSP. And I thought it was pretty decent. They're like fun action RPGs. So I'm kind of excited to play this one. I need to get into the Ys series. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll like it this time. Unlike the majority of JRPGs I play from the day where I'm like, this is really grindy. This one I've never played. All my life I've never played it. I've never seen it played in like real life. I've only ever seen people play it on videos on YouTube and stuff. I'm excited to play this when it's in the backlog. It's the sequel, one of the few rare sequels these days to Mario games. I say that. There's like Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3. And then there's like Star Wars Galaxy 2. Not Star Wars Galaxy. Good God, man, I'm tired. Super Mario Galaxy. There's plenty of sequels to it. Anyway, it's Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. You get to play as baby Mario and annoyingly cry the whole time as you play as Yoshi. I think the art style of this is really neat with like the watercolor picture book look that like the Yoshi games are still like emulating to this day. I think this looks really cool. I'm excited to play this one. It's been in the backlog forever, but it's coming up sooner than later. And then the very last game, a really fun game, kind of like a requirement on the system. It's also on the Genesis. I played it with my wife. She got very frustrated with it, and I got moderately frustrated with it, but I didn't want to keep playing it after she gave up. We did not finish it. I feel like this game has like 7 million levels. Like, it just goes forever, but we put like some hours into this. It's Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's an over-the-head run and gun where you're like killing zombies and saving people, and maybe you have a time limit. You're trying to like find everybody in the level to escape to go to the next level. What we didn't like was the puzzle elements. We kept getting like lost in these mazes. I couldn't figure out how to get to the next area, and she doesn't have much patience for that stuff, and I have less than I used to. So anyway, still a great game. I wish I could find somebody to beat it with me, but anyway, I think it has a password system in it, so it's not as brutal. You could play it over several sessions. Well, all right, guys, there's my Super Nintendo collection. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my smaller collections, but like a pretty good one. I can't wait to get into some of these other ones. If you stayed around this long, thanks. If you liked the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers. We're like right on the threshold. I'm looking forward to it. And next week, I think maybe a few days from when this video comes out, I'm going to try to do my first gameplay video. So if you're watching this at the time it comes out, tune in for that, pretty please. Maybe it'll be good. I'll get to rant while playing a game. for those of you that like to just apparently listen to me talk. So anyway, thanks again, guys. I'll catch you next time.